You put me here on this platform to tell the truth. Speak to me when I be speaking to the youth.
There are 7.99 billion people in the world right now. And for each person, 96% of their efforts towards personal development fail because they never created a habit to work towards their mindset. And a habit becomes easier if you make it easier to access. So by hitting the subscribe button, you'll not only be creating a habit to think better, perform on a higher level, and be more confident, it'll also mean the world to me by helping us make more valuable and life-changing content for the world. Hit the subscribe button. All right, man. How you feel today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm blessed. I always want to kickstart everything and roll it straight in. But, I do want you to introduce yourself because from what I met you, when I met you at, it was a Mari's event, right, on the rooftop?
Yeah, shout out to Mari.
Yeah, I know Mari pretty well. I went to the very first one. I was on the boat. But, yeah, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then I'm going to get into the icebreaker questions to kind of, set the vibe for today.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Bishop. Full name is Marvel Bishop. I'm a luxury concierge host here based in South Florida, mainly Miami. What we do is we provide experiences for people that come here to Miami for the 1%. If you're not the 1%, we make you feel like the 1%. And content creator, influencer, entrepreneur, definitely getting into more of the speaking engagements as well. And I'm just a vessel of just trying to provide people, value and trying to just be a servant, honestly. So
I like that. And I like that you said you're doing a couple different speaking engagements because I saw one of your recent posts that you spoke on a panel on a specific topic on what is a man or something.
Yeah, the value
like
of a man.
Man.
Tonias and Lunar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Probably not. I always butcher people's names. But she has a nonprofit called Silent Cries. It's an organization pretty much against the fight against domestic violence on all levels. And she wanted to bring me and two other gentlemen to talk about, like the value of a man and, like what is a man and, what's high value, what's not, what other intangibles that we, as men actually bring to society, etc. So, yeah. So I had a post about that recently.
Yeah, that's not bad. I enjoyed the post. The post. So I want to back things up a little bit. You're very successful.
Thank you.
You have an amazing business. I like the way you articulate yourself and carry yourself. So growing up, did you always see yourself as being an entrepreneur, having your own business? Really?
Not at all.
You're straight to the point.
No, not at all. I played sports for most of my life. I was in martial arts as well too. I don't know if your audience will know I'm 6'11", 335. So
yeah, you see,
I'm a little big. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on the short side. And actually, when I was growing up, I actually wanted to be a architect.
Why architecture?
I love like Lego. Well, I still do actually, because I'm kind of like a little bit of a big kid, but I love Legos. I love like building like monstrosities and like. So when I was growing up, in my room, I had a whole bunch of like different like cities. So like I had like a whole bunch of like Lego cities. Like I had the police station, I had the fire station, I had an airport, I had houses, I had cars. Like so like I actually like built like a whole entire like infrastructure, also a city, and yeah and. Wanted to get into architecture. So, but then when I found out you had to be good at math, that was out the window.
I thought it was just drawing for the most part. I thought it was just drawing.
It's it's more math than you think. And when I found that out, I was like, I'm just not really smart. So I was like, you know what, let me just not do this.
That's crazy.
And then also too, I actually wanted to become a MotoGP racer too.
What is
like a motorcycle racer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's different. I never met anybody that did that. I met a Formula One driver. Different. Their reflexes is real.
No. It's arguably one of the most difficult professions in the world. Because what people don't understand is like there's a lot of things with G-force and everything else too, and like a lot of pressure to actually build yourself up as a body and also the mind too. Like it gets crazy. But then also when I was growing up, and then I became 6'1", then 6'2", then 6'3", then 6'7", then 6'8", then 6'11". And I was like, you know what?
Damn, man.
Can't really fit on a bike. Can't really fit on a. Didn't want to be a Formula One driver, but if I wanted to, couldn't anyway because I'm bigger than the damn car. So it's like oh man, whatever. whatever, you know. So
Jesus.
yes, sir.
So when did you see yourself pivoting in life from, you know, the mindset you had when you was younger, you wanted to do this, to what you want to do now and being the connector that you are?
Okay, so I'm originally from New York. So
I would have never guessed that
Never?
because I don't hear the accent.
yeah, nah, but now when I get triggered, then like, you know, my accent comes out too. So it's kind of suppressed now ever since being in Florida for 15 years.
Oh, really?
But yeah, so I went to FIU 2009, and then
Studying what?
studying sports and fitness.
Sports and
Yeah,
fitness.
so I was actually before then I was actually physical education. I wanted to become a gym teacher, but then when I found out that, you know, it was only paying literally like $30,000 a year, I was like, okay, yeah, don't
So
want to
from
be.
architecture to gym teacher.
Yeah, I'm all over the place, man.
to
It is
like,
what it is. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
That's-
yeah,
that's-
definitely.
that's different.
Yeah, so because I went to community college in New York first,
Uh-huh.
and then that's when I found out with the whole path of architecture. I didn't want to necessarily do that.
Yeah.
Then I also played ball too. I played for AJ Wander. He used to play for the Celtics. Played for him for about a couple of years, and then I played semi-pro for a little bit. And then after that, then I went to FIU 2009. And then when I came here in Miami, I wanted to do something in the creative space, but architecture wasn't necessarily like in the like my field or my wheelhouse anymore. So then actually I became like a photographer, videographer actually in FIU. So that's like you know, where my creative background came from. So I did a bunch of shoots for sororities, fraternities, organizations. So yeah, and then that's how I know about all this, you know, camera equipment and all that. So like the hospitality and the luxury side, like the concierge, didn't come until like 2014, 15, 16.
wow. So tell me this. You're in this field now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a connector. I can imagine the type of people you're connected with.
Yes.
Given the industry that you're in. What does it take to be a connector in this day and age? Like, I want you to give me 3 perspectives. From where you are now in business, from where you are when you first started business in the same industry, and where you was at growing up, because I'm sure you learned lessons on connecting with people that kind of led you and to where you are now as far as
So
knowledge and
in the
understanding.
beginning, I would say me growing up, I've always been a person where like I love to take care of people. I love to like overextend myself and also be a servant to people as well too. In addition to that, I always wanted to be, I was like a nurturer, like a protector. Like me growing up with like my peoples and my family and also my friends, I was always the biggest person. So like naturally, like I was always like yeah. And then with that, me being a protector has gotten people to be very, very comfortable with me. And I'm also to be able to relate, and people would navigate and also, you know, gravitate towards me. So then I would be able to like really be able to connect to people and also have like intimate conversations for people to feel safe. And then, you know, people always come to me with like all their issues, and, you know, so not necessarily me being a protector from a physical standpoint, but also being a protector on a mental standpoint as well. So with that, it got me into being a big, connector and also networker as far as like people say, oh yeah, hey, what's Marvel doing? You know, like, or back in the day, so this gets a little confusing because like my full name is Marvel Michael John Caraculus Bishop. Yes, I know Caraculus is crazy, and I know you didn't know that. So and in New York, people called me Michael.
Gotcha.
But you know, I used to hate the name Marvel.
Why, when Marvel industry and stuff like that?
The reason why is because it's also kind of like the relationship with my mom, because my mom called me Marvel, but then my family, that my aunt that raised me, my grandparents, they call me Michael. So Michael is my great grandfather's name. But it only takes one woman that you're dating back in the day to be like, hey, listen, I like Marvel. Okay, cool, let's switch it up.
Yeah.
You know, they're always influenced. They're always biggest influences in our life. You know what I'm saying? So So kind of like all over the place. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. This helps people, relate to you and understand.
Yeah. So I would definitely say, as far as like me being a connector back then, that's how I kind of like, I guess, got it initiated into just being a people's person and also being able to like really like gravitate and connect to people. Now, what was the question?
So how can somebody be the best connector that they can be, and from 3 different perspectives in the biz, like right now where you're at being successful in business, to at the start of it, because I'm sure you have a lot of connections, but then you meet some people that don't know how to carry themselves or don't have the proper etiquette when it comes to connecting with people. It seems very transactional. It seems very rigid and rough. So what tips can you say to that?
So I would say now you have to find out like what your superpower is.
Superpower. Like, what do you mean? Like your natural gift?
Like what is your natural gift like God has given you?
Gotcha.
What is something that separates you from the pack that that you're really great at and who you are as a person that nobody else is. When it comes to professions, like I'm a luxury concierge host, but everybody's a luxury concierge host, but not everybody's me. So
that's true.
And nobody's you at the end of the day. So like how you're able to be unique, it's not necessarily just being about being better, it's about being different.
Yes. And putting that on blast, or like emphasizing that over everything else, because many times people feel as if different industries are saturated.
No.
But when you have your own gift and your own unique thing, people nowadays want to do business with the person.
Yeah, nothing is saturated. You're just not good enough.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, but the great thing is that you are. You're the teller of all your tales. You are the main character in your life. So you are able to actually create that and be able to hone your journey of your greatness, if that makes sense.
So what advice can you give to somebody to help them find their gifts and hone in on what their thing is? Because you mentioned a lot of things that you served, and I can imagine you serving, you doing these things got you to find your gift and things of that nature, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, what advice? I would say you have to give yourself time to be able to find that. I don't believe that you have to find it. I think it kind of finds you in the same process as you finding it. And you have to let time, and you have to let like the journey to like really play itself out. Like you can't really force trying to find your superpower, if that makes sense. Like me growing up, like me finding out what my superpower is, this is literally 20, 25, maybe 27 years necessarily in the making. Yeah, definitely.
You're 27?
No, I'm 37. But what I'm saying is that like from the time of me in elementary school, and then also growing up, and then people gravitating towards me, like me kind of finding myself. I didn't really necessarily know what it was, but the process, I would say. So I think it can't not necessarily be forced. It has to be kind of stumbled upon, if that makes sense.
Stumbled upon.
Yeah. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, so this is something that I'm really great at, and I can actually make money from this. But most importantly, I can actually impact people's lives as well, which is the most important thing.
Got you. And I was talking with somebody, and we mentioned, and we was talking on success, like, hey, what does success truly mean? And for him, he said true success is the impact you can have on other people.
Yes.
And of course, it's different. There's different perspectives for everybody as far as what success really is. What would you say success is for you right now? Because you are successful right now, I can imagine. So what would you say it is for you? Is it just financial? Is it just freedom? Is it impact like him, or?
I think it's everything. It's everything that kind of comes with it. I mean, it's for me, it's not necessarily the money. It's what I can actually do with the money to be able to like really impact people's lives. Like things are like true success is not necessarily about like what you can get as far as the tangibles, but like what you can actually do with the tangibles to actually have an intangible effect to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for instance, let's just say, which I'm not, let's just say I'm a multi-billionaire. Not yet, but I will be. I made $100,000 in a day, right?
Yeah.
That's great, right? But it's not necessarily about making that $100,000. It's about what I can do with that $100,000 to be able to maybe go on a trip to maybe Bali, maybe give a part of the money to maybe a less fortunate, maybe like a nonprofit, or maybe a foundation. It's really about what you do with it rather than what you get, because the more that I think real success is the freedom of giving.
Freedom of giving.
Yes, the freedom of giving, and also be able to give back as well too, and also not necessarily monetarily, but also knowledge and also experience as well.
So what would you say is a number one gem that you received growing up? That, like, I'm 23. What would be the number one thing that you would tell somebody that was 23, getting into business, getting into entrepreneurship, getting into finding their gift? What would be the number one takeaway you would give somebody?
You have a little bit more time than you think.
Really? Because when I tell you, like,
no, you have time. But here's the difference. The difference is that you have to have two different push and pulls when it comes to having patience. Like, for me, it's all about micro impatience and also macro patience, if that makes sense.
said micro patience.
Micro impatience and macro patience.
Okay.
So let me explain. The micro, the month, the 3 months, the 6 months, maybe even the year, you got to be able to go get it. Make sure that what building your business, building your tribe, providing, value to other people. Have short-term goals, but you have to be very, very impatient to be able to actually put yourself in a position to have that patience in the future. Like, you're not going to be able to become a billionaire within a year, if that makes sense. Like, not everybody's Mark Zuckerberg. Not everybody's Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But you can be someone that has that mindset to be able to have that 3, 4, 5 year mark where it's like, okay, you know what? Brick by brick, 1% better every single day. Keep on, it's sorry to cut you off, my bad.
No, you're okay.
But and this is like what I've actually lived by, which is the you ever heard about the Japanese term Kaizen?
No.
Yeah, so Kaizen is the mindset and the pursuit of becoming 1% better every single day.
I heard of that, but I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it's called Kaizen.
Okay.
Yeah, Kaizen.
Okay.
And that's like ingrained in my brain.
1% better.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to ask you this because for me, the issue that I'm having and I'm seeing other people have in my generation, because we're part of two different generations.
How old are you?
23.
Oh, yo, boy, damn. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I'm 23. So we're in two different day and age with how tech is nowadays, how AI is nowadays, and how fast paced everything is. So yes, we can have those micro impatient goals, 3 months, 30 days that you mentioned, but everything is so fast paced. I feel as if I'm behind, but everybody older than me is telling me like, yo, if I was you at your age,
but they're not
good.
But they're not though. Huh? Like, I can't stand, like, it's the same thing when people is like, oh man, if I was 6'11", I'd be in the NBA, but you're not 6'11".
Yeah. So it's
you're not me.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's you at the end of the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then also too, like, how can you be I get so pissed off when I talk about this, but like, how can you be late to your own journey? How can you be? It's your journey. It's you, Oliver, the one that's actually living. Like, is your blood within your veins. So how the hell can anybody else and me tell you, like, hey, listen, man, like, if I was your age, you know what I'm saying, you should be doing this, and that.
No.
Do you how many episodes do you have of your podcast right now?
About 30, going on 40.
Okay, guess what? Do you know that 92% of podcasts do not make it past episode 20?
I've actually heard of that.
8%.
Yeah, 8%. Wow. Yeah.
8%. And you're on episode 30-something.
Yeah.
So you're doing something. So you're still pushing, and you're doing something right.
Yeah.
But this is within your journey.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And I want to clarify. Like, people don't say that I'm late. People say that I'm on track, but I feel as if I'm late because of how fast paced everything is. You feel me? Because people are saying, "Hey, yo, calm down. You're on the right thing. You're at this age doing these things." But me, it's like, yo, somebody can just blow up like yesterday, and then fast forward.
Which plays into what I'm talking about with the micro impatience. Like, you have that fire within you to make sure that you're 1% every single day. So once you have that in your brain, in your soul, like, good. Yeah. Like, you have to understand, like, the one thing that you have that I don't is time. You have 14, like, I have 14 years on you, but you have 14 years on me as well. like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Like, you have 14 years on me.
So it's like, where could I be
At 23,
that?
was I thinking about, like, having a freaking, I don't know. I don't think so.
You was in college at the time.
I was in college at the time, and I was doing, it was much later, honestly.
That's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Very different perspective. So for somebody like me, where would somebody be able to pivot in life to get to that next step in life? Like, what, for you, when you started getting into business, when did you see and realize, like, hey, I'm here at this level? What's the best way for me to pivot at, like, now? Like, how was that for you? How was that experience for you? How was that realization for you?
To pivot in what sense?
So it's like, all right, you mentioned, like, you have this level of success that you have right now. When did you realize, like, yo, I'm successful, I have this level of impact now, I reached it there, and everything that you learned started to resonate with you?
The funny part is that I never really think that, like, I'm successful.
Really?
Yeah. There are, and I'm not going to take credit to this. I'm actually going to tell, this is going to be from Alex Mosey. There's 3, like, super traits of, like, successful entrepreneurs. Number 1 is that they have a superiority complex where, like, they feel like they're better than anybody else. The second one, which I kind of fall.
I don't get that part. No.
I don't get that part either, but you have to have some type of confidence for you to be able to, like, have, to be in entrepreneurship where 99% of people fail. And 99% of people lose money and also become bankrupt as well too. The second one is that you have to also have a complex of insecurity, where, like, you feel like you're never good enough.
Okay.
And then the third one is you got to have impulse control, which that's what a lot of entrepreneurs have a big problem. That's what I had a problem with too.
So going on, I want to get on the first one, but get on impulse control. So tell me more about that.
It's really just delaying the instant gratification to be able to have long-lasting salvation and to have that long-lasting effect of having that success. So it doesn't matter. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, like, yeah, you can make a lot of money, you can make great money, but, like, it's like what you do with that money too, to be able to kind of put yourself in a position. Like, okay, yeah, if I made $50,000 this past weekend, right? What am I going to do with that business? What am I going to do with that money? Am I going to just
build a business
or go to Cabo or go to friggin' Thailand or go to friggin' Indonesia?
That is true.
You know, for the weekend.
That's a very different perspective.
Yeah.
Because somebody told me that when you have a business, the first year or the first couple year, you really shouldn't have any profit because you should be reinvesting a majority of everything back into the business. Because if you're not constantly pouring money into business through paying for marketing, paying for this, paying for that, paying for new equipment, upgrading your setup, upgrading whatever it is you can upgrade, how are you going to grow? Your business is not growing. Your business is just staying where it's at, making whatever max amount of potential that it can make in that moment.
Yeah, most of my money that I make, I put it right back into me. Or I put it back into me as far as self-development, but then also in my business as well.
Definitely.
Like, even now, like, I don't really care about, like, vacations and don't really care about none of that right now.
I get a lot of crap because I don't look for that.
Well, that's good, because especially in this day and age, you being this age, you see a lot of men or adults that have, you know, the Lambos and the Urises and all that, especially in Miami as well. You know, it's like,
I feel you.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to be able to, like, okay, look, you know, I'm making money. Okay, great. What can I do to, you know, Kaizen? What can I do to become Kaizen, man? That's literally what it is.
1% better every day.
1% better every single day.
So getting into Kaizen and like, you know, what you said earlier for number one, for the superiority complex, like in my mind, yes, have that confidence. Yes, feel superior than others when it comes to business and have that level of confidence, but where does humbleness come into play in that?
Fuck
where
humbleness. Yeah, I hate that word.
Really?
Yeah, sorry for cursing, but
no, you're good.
Yeah, no, forget it. Like being humble. Do you even know what the definition of humble is? Look it up.
So humble.
No, for real. Let's stop. Like this.
I can look it up right now.
I can go on my phone right now. Give me 1 second.
Because I know sometimes people confuse humbleness with humility, in a sense, and that can kind of cause and things and have everything to spiral. In
Anybody that tells me be humble, anybody tells like, oh, you need to be, then what I do is I educate them. I'm like, okay, do you understand what the definition is? Definition is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Does that resonate towards you?
Well, I understand it biblically.
No. Yeah. Okay, well, okay, fine. We're talking about biblical standpoints, but
Yeah.
like with you as Oliver, like, do you have a low self-estimate of your own importance? No, like you feel like you're very, very important, right?
Yeah, I feel like
Then why would you be humble then? That's what I don't understand. Like, yeah, don't be arrogant, don't be egotistical, don't be.
I feel like they kind of
no.
mix
Like
that up with that.
everybody just misconstrues the actual definition of what humble is, and it's completely like false. I'm like, no, like being humble is actually killing your brand. I mean, yes, being humble is actually killing your brand. Yeah. Yeah, facts.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
Especially in my line of work where I literally serve the 1%, like I serve the elites.
You have to be like
I cannot be humble. Like, yes, I have to be graceful and also diplomatic and be able to show grace. That's fine. But me serving that type of 1%, I have to have the same mindset with the same people who actually got there to begin with, if that makes sense. Like, I have to have that 1% mindset.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm going to get ran over.
I noticed that because as I'm networking and walking into different rooms, I start to get better in terms of my articulation and speaking to a different class of people. And I notice when I carry myself a different way, I get different reactions from other people and from those individuals. So I definitely see what you're talking about. If you carry yourself timid and you don't have that importance,
exactly.
like you won't get what you're looking for from your business or in life in general.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily talking about like you gotta like, you know, run around with your chest out and like, you know, thumping like freaking like a damn gorilla. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But for instance, like Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly but carry a big stick. Yeah, that's speak softly, like, you know, like for instance, I am a person where I'm just going to say this again. I'm 6'11", 335. I don't need to walk around like I'm freaking King Tut. I don't need to walk around like I'm out of here, like, you know, causing havoc and like, you know, and just like being crazy and all that. When you first met me, what you thought of me? Did I even act like that?
No.
When you approached me, right? How was I?
You was very reserved. You didn't engage too much. You didn't engage too little. You basically went off of how I came across to you, and in the heat of the moment, I kind of came across the wrong way because I didn't even freaking introduce my name.
It's all good.
It was like, first off,
we're gonna talk about too after the pod because the way that you approached me, I didn't really like it. But however,
and I felt that because I don't usually because in my mind,
like yo, buy a guy drink first, man. Like, you know, can I get your name?
bro, that is not usually like me because
I got you.
But
now. Here's the beauty about that whole entire thing.
Yeah.
The way and how I really could have just shut you down and be like, yo, listen, man, don't even fucking talk to me. I could have done that.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't because of how I carry myself and how like I give people grace.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely
because I'm not better than anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in that standpoint of being 22, 23. Not even just, like, I've messed up before.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, what is the old saying? He who is without sin cast the first stone, right?
Wait.
He who is without sin cast the first stone?
Yeah.
Like, how can I judge you?
When you've been there before.
When I've been there before, and I've definitely made mistakes.
Yeah.
So grace is definitely something that definitely needs to be more and more introduced in life and also business and etc.
You feel like is there ever too much grace? Because yes, you can have grace, but do you think people will begin to use the person that's giving them the grace? like a mother providing for the child, and then the child treating their mother like
I-
crap, things of that nature.
I-
In that sense, like for retrospect.
I struggle with this every single day because I do think that the portal to having a great life is to have unconditional love, regardless of for who it is.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
Even if people have done you wrong,
Love.
yeah, honestly,
And, and I learned that in the Bible because God does it himself. God will love you even if you never change. God will love you. But a lot of people, when they get burnt out and they get to that breaking point, they lose that love when you just have to just continue loving.
Yeah, but as a man, we are literally like right below God, so we have to be the representation of Him.
Yeah.
And if we're not necessarily doing His deed, if that makes sense. Yeah. Grace is a tough one. Grace is definitely a tough one. Because there's definitely times where I would just want to just destroy people completely.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
at times it's
not worth it.
It's never worth it because you feel like it is at that time because you're getting that temporary satisfaction that it is worth it. But long haul, like you ever did something to somebody that like you really at that time you're like, yeah man, fuck her, this and that, fuck that dude, this and that, I want to do this, right?
Yeah, and then later on
like
you
at
feel
the end
like,
you're like,
why did I even say that?
why did I do that?
Yeah.
Like why did I do that?
You were just gratifying the flesh, and that goes back into short-term gratification.
Yes.
Those things are never good. If you have the fruits of the Spirit, which is long-suffering and kindness and things of that nature, in the long run, you will see all the rewards from your fruits.
Yeah, the art of abundance is definitely very, very key.
The art of abundance?
I'm learning that.
What is that?
The art of abundance?
Yeah, the art of abundance. I want to know.
Oh man,
I got you. I love these types of conversations.
It's the art of always being able to have the mindset that your cup is always runneth over, no matter what.
Okay.
Like
you
don't come from a place of scarcity, but you come from a place of abundance. Never come from a place of scarcity. Every single time when you come from a place of scarcity, you actually mess up and you actually make terrible decisions.
So is that where even if you might be down bad, but
if you're down bad,
you don't think about it, you don't feel like that.
There's a video that I'm going to share with you. Lewis House.
No,
Yeah.
I probably don't know the name, but I might recognize
Yeah, his
his face.
guest, I can't remember his name, but he talks about the art of abundance.
Gotcha.
And it is a skill, but it's a mindset. It's a journey, Every single time that I try to at least try to close a client and try to charge less or try to give them a discount, always fails.
I noticed that.
Always fails, yeah. But you know why though, right? Well, hold on. You know why though, right? Because you're coming from a place of scarcity and not abundance. You're gonna get other clients. You're gonna get other opportunities to make that 10K, mindset or that 10K mentorship package. You are.
Yeah.
It just wasn't really that time for you to actually get that.
Yeah.
And then when you just focus on like the interim or like just a temporary, you really mess up for what can actually be for the long haul.
Yeah, and I feel like when you do that, you kind of lose that sense of superiority that you need, that confidence that you need. Because once you start saying discount, you stutter, you do this, the person that you're talking to loses the value that you're trying to provide. Like they kind of take it for granted too on top of it. Because that's kind of like what I do sometimes with even my friends. I would even give them stuff for free, but I myself know the value, and if you put your money into it, even if it's less, whatever the case may be, you would treat it with that much more respect than if somebody gave it to you for free. So if you do those discounts, if you do those things, people won't take consideration to the value that you're trying to provide.
There are times I actually would rather give stuff for free than actually charge for it.
Really?
Yes.
How so? Because like me, if somebody doesn't like when people put that monetary compensation. They're like, yo, I paid money for this. I'm going to get my money's worth out of it. That's what I noticed how some people think. But why do you think that sometimes you would give
not all
for
the
free?
time, because then I wouldn't be able to to live for myself.
Of course.
But at times, because giving discounts I hate the word discount. Discount is just, it grinds my gears. Sometimes giving discounts can be way more detrimental than actually giving stuff for free.
How so?
Because it lowers your value to the point where not everybody thinks they can just get a discount. But you have to have the systems to be able to give stuff for free, to be able to be so invaluable that when they actually get something that's very, very valuable that they have to actually pay for, it's automatic and they want to pay for it.
Yeah,
there's
and
there's no question.
No question.
You know, what I've always said is that in your personal brand, in your business, whatever that you do, right? There's two types of people. There's a person that is going to be your client. There's going to be a person who's going to be a fan. That is my funnel. That's literally what I do. Seriously.
Gotcha.
If I have a person that wants to come here to Miami and they want to, experience XYZ and they want to be able to have all the stuff, okay, great. That's a certain package. But then if they necessarily can't afford it, I will give them information to the point where they can kind of do it for themselves and have that value. But then also I'm able to keep them as a fan. So not just for my concierge, but also I'm building an academy as well, where I am going to be teaching people how to be the bishop in my field. So Bishop Executive Services is my concierge company. And Bishop is actually my last name. So the bishop is one of the most important pieces in chess. It protects and serves and gives all the desires and wants to the king and queen. The king and queen are my clients. Okay. So that's kind of my spiel when it comes to my concierge. Now with my academy, I'm teaching people how to be the bishop in your field, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it's like podcasting, coaching. How can I be in my field?
How can you be the bishop to be able to have an elevated business or have to be in the best mindset and the best position to run your business? So
give me a bird's eye view. What would a bishop be in different fields? What are the key characteristics that you're going to be sharing in this, academy?
Well, I do think that everybody needs to have some type of unreasonable hospitality within all fields that you do. I think hospitality is the cornerstone and also the secret sauce to actually building a profitable business.
Hospitality. So
yes.
I've heard that word from different
being able to give way more than what you're actually earning. That's being hospitable. For instance, you could have just came in here, sat down, and had, my friend basically just kind of fend for herself and get her chair and everything else too. You got me a water. It's things like that. That's what, that's kind of the hospitable end that you need to do, but you need to be able to take to the next level within your business. So whatever that looks like being hospitable within your mindset business, looking into that. There's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. You need to read it. It has changed my whole entire life with everything.
Wasn't that the guy that created the Hilton Hotel or something like that? Because I heard
yes.
Got you.
I believe so. Yeah. So seeing the different things you can do for your clients that money necessarily can't buy. Because it's not necessarily about doing the service. It's about how you make people feel.
I like that.
And that's how people really just, honestly do business with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about how you make people feel. I can't remember his name. I'm really bad at names, which I need to be really better at.
I feel you on that, man.
But I have different tricks to be able to really remember names. But the old 76ers owner, he was at a panel, and he was talking about how you can actually really connect to your audience, right? And he says, very, very simple. Everything is about emotions. If I am a person who I'm a person right now, right, and I try to reach for your wallet right now, if I try to grab your wallet, what would you try to do? Exactly. Now, if I try to grab your heart, what are you going to do? You're going to give me your wallet.
Yeah. I feel like I heard that somewhere.
Like, yes,
man.
if I
feel like-
grab your heart and I in tune with your emotions when it comes to my business, you're going to literally pay for whatever, because it's all about the feelings of how a business makes you feel.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's personal. Everything's relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do your business, people do your podcast, not because of like there's a million mindset coaches, but people really like you because of you, and they'll keep on doing business because of you. People do business because of me.
Yeah, and there's a saying that I heard where people will forget what you've done for them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That's key. I like that. So tell me this. With everything that you do now, as we wrap things up, well, first and foremost, what is the flow in your concierge company and everything right now? Like, when somebody comes in, how does that look like?
So let's just say, okay, so I'll have a person come to me. It's like, hey, I am coming in to Miami with a group of friends. We also do personal and corporate as well too, but we would need, certain services. Now, my business is very nuanced because I have to like really get that meeting with them first. But before I get the meeting with them, I send them the contact form, because then I find out exactly what they need. Because I have to be very, very prepared for the call. So
it's not like they just come on, and you ask everything right then and there. And you
no,
figure
yeah.
everything
So
out.
before
Wow.
anything, once I find out that they are coming, I find out the date. So I'm like, okay, great. Hey, here's a contact form. You fill out first name, last name, email, number, and all the different services that you are, that you want. This is something that you can actually apply within your business. Well, we probably talk about later, because other than just trying to guess what people want, if you send them a contact form of all the different services that you actually provide, and they actually fill it out before the meeting, you're prepared to know what they need, and you can either basically really focus on, honing in on that service, or maybe even upselling.
I want to ask you a question right then and there, because
Okay.
being vulnerable,
Yeah,
and
of course.
transparent. The thing that I have with some people and doing those contact forms, and I see myself getting out of it, but there's some nuances where that mindset shift still needs to fully happen. But it's where I send my list and services for people to want to come on the podcast, and usually it's paid, and they're like, hey, I have to pay for it. I'm like, we have episode, we have carrying costs, stuff like that, and it's like it almost caused me to not want to send that form, because people have and say these things. They're like, hey, I have to pay. I thought it was free, or they have these unspoken expectations in that sense. So when you send those contact form and they see all these things, sometimes they might think the same thing. I don't know how it is for you, but that's just the negative gripe that I have sometimes, where it's like, all right, yeah, I pay for it, but sometimes I do want to have people to come on and have a conversation with me in that sense.
So, okay. And maybe this is a conversation with after, but I'll just say this: like, the podcast that you have right now is it's a big lead generation, as far as like getting more people and building community, and also building having clients as well too.
Yeah,
you got to just have that foresight to see. You got to like really understand what the ROI is. You understood being fully transparent. The ROI for not necessarily charging me for this, and just for me to just come through and then basically have this conversation, versus maybe there may be somebody else that you maybe need to charge, because the value that they're bringing in is not necessarily as valuable as what maybe somebody else. So it's trial and error, bro.
Continue speaking.
Yeah. It's
You said the ROI.
yeah. Good catch, love. Yeah, it's all about seeing what necessarily the ROI is with that. But to go back with the process of the concierge, so we do that. We have the meeting. You good?
Yeah.
We do that. We have the meeting. Then we fill out the form, and then after when they fill out the form, then I have a conversation with them to see if they would like to either stay at that level or maybe upsell. You always got to upsell at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So,
I'm getting the funnel.
So I have three
aspect.
tiers. I have the lowest tier, which is basically just like the remote access. The second tier, which is like if you maybe need just You don't need maybe like the full-on service, but you need a couple of things and maybe just kind of a la carte to kind of put it in the package. And then this next level is the full level 24/7 concierge approach. Then after that, when we have the onboarding meeting and then we lock it in. And after that, it's honestly just, off to the races when it comes to the different services. So some of them will need transportation, private security, villas, mansions, reservations,
So you do,
VIP access.
you do
literally
everything.
anything. So my saying is this, is that I never say no. I always say, let me see what I can do for you. That's literally like the crux. That's literally like the crux of like hospitality.
Got
honestly,
you. Let me see what I can do for you.
Yes. Which that can actually be implemented in your business.
How so?
Like, there's always going to be something on the outside your job description to really hone in and also close and also to nurture and to keep that client. Like, really think outside the box. Don't necessarily think about just the services that you provide. See how you can actually encompass other type of levels of service and hospitality to be able to, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm trying to see it with your mindset. So like you have like packages and stuff that, okay. So
Yeah, my main package is a support package where they purchase the hat that we have the merch. That way that can help put towards whatever we want to do for marketing for the episode. Then we have a content package where that's $300 where they get the MP3, MP4, reels, branded and unbranded, and then mid-form content where it's like 5 to 10 minute splits on good topics that we talked about, and that way they can repurpose that, because I've seen people post and repurpose the material that I gave them and get like 20,000 leads, and out of that like maybe a couple hundred clients for whatever packages or whatever offers that they have. So I get the value in providing those things for other people. And then the VIP package where we're getting engagement on our page, and we only have like there's a guest highlight where we're bringing in traffic to people's websites, offers, and their pages. So now the people that are funneled in that aren't from them, people see the highlights because people tend to click highlights. They see people that they resonate with. They go on their profile. They see what they offer. Now they're attracting more people in the algorithm, and Instagram is working for them on that aspect.
So the packages that you have, right? Whatever the taglines, the stuff that you actually offer, give more.
Give more.
Yes. But give more in the sense where it's not going to necessarily cost you as much. It's just going to cost you energy. It's going to cost you
Time.
just necessarily time.
So
like if you have 10 reels, let's say if you're doing 10 reels to somebody, right? Give an extra 2. Give an extra 3.
Got you. So
Things like that to be able to like, man, like you have to have a product so freaking amazing that these people, your clients, don't want to go anywhere else other than messing with you.
So what I've done differently was I've called some people use this space to do the promo videos.
Yeah, of course.
So they do that, and they do it for free, no cost. When we edit, do everything however they want it, we give it back to them, all in that same package, all at the same time. So I like that. I never thought of giving them stuff or think about how much more can I do around what I already know now.
Yeah, and hospitality, and I've said this on my last podcast I was interviewed on, it's a level of you're never ever going to, the things that you do, if you actually genuinely really care about hospitality and hosting and really care about serving people, you're never ever going to get the same amount of money for what you do. Like for what you do is always going to be here, and then as far as like the dollar amount, as far as like being in parallel, it's always going to be less than. And that's just the way it is.
I never looked at it like that. Like, I don't know what made me think it, like, not necessarily that it has to be equal, but I always just know, like, I would just have that satisfaction that, hey, I don't care. Like, it'll all be worth it at the end of the day. In that sense, I always have that type of perspective.
And you know what that type of mindset is, right?
What?
The art of abundance. You're abundant. You don't even know. Not caring. Don't care, bro. Like, yeah, like that. Boom.
Got you. No worries. So, yeah. So, as we wrap this up, I didn't even realize that I have that perspective on, because sometimes even with thinking of, in abundance, I would say these little things that kind of cripple me, where it's like where people notice and catch, which I appreciate you saying that I think that way, which is good. But I would say things like restrict. I would say things like not like I'm like I'm not there, or I don't have it, or I don't have it at all.
Yeah.
And those people catch those key words and they're like, yo, fix that or else
Yeah.
you will never have it.
Yeah. Like you don't have it yet.
Yet. I like that. So as we wrap things up, I really do appreciate you coming on today.
My man.
Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
definitely.
You taught me a lot of lessons, and I hope I.
No, man, this is great, man. This is great. I'm always willing to have conversations with, dope people, especially black men. So
appreciate that.
yes, sir.
So in life, I know you gave a lot of good takeaways from your business, from your life, and everything. Out of everything that you are as a man, as a person, as a business owner, as a family man, what would be the one thing that you want to make sure everybody should resonate within themselves?
Well, I'm not a family man just yet.
Oh,
so, but it's all good.
But I'm saying family man as far as how you protect and care for people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How do I what now? I'm sorry.
What is one thing that you want to make sure everybody should resonate within their core being? Like, I like that. I like it when they think for a long time. I like that. I like that.
Authenticity is the gateway to prosperity.
Authenticity.
Yes. So if you are authentic within yourself, if you understand yourself and you know your greatness, your flaws, what you have to work on, and if you're able to really understand that and to promote yourself and to better yourself every single day, and if you really, really actually try your best, because I really do believe that God really, really, really rewards people who really actually try. Really like put their best step forward and try their best to actually be better. And also too, if you feel like you're all doing your best, you're probably not. So there's opportunity for you to actually work on that and to be the best person you can be. And then also too, here's another step on it, another level to it, is that sometimes your best is not even,
up to par.
It's not up to par. But with me, doesn't matter about how I feel, doesn't matter what's going on. Sometimes your best is not necessarily the best, but you not only have to do your best, but you have to do what's required.
That's true.
Yeah,
because
I go back and forth with that at times. I'm like, I did my best. Oh, but did you? Okay, well, if you did your best, then maybe it's not good enough. So now you need to do what's required.
Yeah, what's required? Wow, because I was talking to one of my coaches and it was on the line of the word execution, where it's like many times people execute, but not on a high level, and that's doing what's required. Even though you feel like crap, get up, do what you got to do. Make those calls, have this conversation, invite these people, do this, do that. If not, your best could be what it is at the moment because you're sick, but did you do everything that was required?
Yeah. Did I really I definitely want to have a conversation with you, but did I really want to take an Uber here all the way from freaking Brickell to come here? Did I really want to? I'm like, do I? But it doesn't really matter about how I feel, because as a man, you're only as good as your word. So you know what? I gotta, come through and also, commit to my word. And now I feel great that I even did it.
If I'm being honest, bro, I would say the same thing for me, because these past days I've been freaking exhausted. With
oh man, we about to be here for another hour, man. You about to let's talk about it.
So true. But I appreciate authenticity, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I do appreciate everything that you said today, man.
My guy.
And at the end of the day, my name is Olivier J. Darcis. We're here. I'm with my man Bishop. Can I say Bishop? You want me to say Marvel? Everything Bishop.
You can say Bishop. You can say Bishop. Yeah, that's cool.
We're here helping you do the do to do life well. Peace.
Only the best.
Wait, before you go, make sure you hit the subscribe button and check out the video that you think is the best for you. Or is it check out the video and hit the subscribe button? Man, you know what I'm trying to do. Peace.